Are we ready?
Start because there's a quorum already.
Okay, the time is 1:10 p.m., January 15, 2026. This is the regular schedule CLTC board meeting. We'll start off with the university. Please stand.
University, Inimastakulum, Ihinasoku, Imastakulum, Gikuda Sonho, Zanimasfigo, Nanimasanyahu, Uapressing Maisazo, Harabai, Upertehi, Zanhu Defendi, Ihinengi, Ikatura, Ilingwahi, Iari, Ihanam, Zanitano Samoru. Ni Iren Shaku, the Renzo, Gerenzo Ostata, Este, Hu Fitna, Hihi, Louis Biblia, Zanibanderahu, Ibandera, and Guahan.
One more. Sa mami nagayo gilangi azuda este na komisyon para takuprendi desisyon mo para este na inen ng CHamoru Land Trust. Nagklaro para hita para ta decidi para imenalekta. Azuda ang Kristo sana para itanota. Azuda ang Kristo sana para minagofi tautoguahan. Mga muna entolo makaniti dyan itautaw na para si Diyos patehan, si Diyos bendisyan, Viva Sana, Viva CLTC, Viva Guahan. Dala.
Good afternoon. This is the CHamoru Land Trust Commission regular board meeting for January 15, 2026 here at the CLTC conference room, Suite 223 of the ITC building in Tamuni. Public comments may be made by emailing cltc.admin@cltc.guam.gov. To view the meeting virtually, please log on to GovGuam Live YouTube channel or via Google Meet. The meeting link is posted on the CLTC website. Sir, we will now take attendance of the commission. Please say present when your name is called. Acting Chairman, Mr. Earl J. Garrido.
Here.
Commissioner Fabrine C. Respicio.
Present.
Commissioner Jeremy J. Rojas.
Present.
Commissioner Joseph Artero Cameron.
Present.
We also want to recognize the Acting Administrative Director, Mr. Joseph Joey B. Cruz Jr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
This meeting is now in progress. Before moving forward, I do have a remark that I would like to make for the record. The CHamoru Land Trust Commission, which is CLTC in Guam, manages community land leases for Chamorro beneficiaries under local laws like the CHamoru Land Trust Act. The term illegal and unlawful land leases often arise in CLTC disputes, particularly over procedural violations or inconsistencies with land trust statutes. Distinctions of illegal leases typically refer to those outright violating core statutory requirements or legal prohibitions, such as improper waiting lists, manipulations, or leases issued without authority, rendering them void or subject to nullification by the court or officials like the Attorney General. Unlawful leases, by contrast, describes broader irregularities like non-compliance with planning mandates or administrative errors, which may be challengeable but potentially ratifiable administratively or through legislative fixes. CLTC has resolved some unlawful leases administratively, while illegal ones have prompted oversight hearings, federal challenges, and bills to retroactively validate or void them. Dozens remain null and void due to priority jumping applicants. Illegal typically describes acts forbidden by criminal status, carrying penalties like fines or imprisonment. CLTC's illegal leases involve core breaches like fraud or statutory misconduct. Unlawful by contrast, more broadly covers civil or procedural violations lacking lawful authority, which may be voidable or remediated without criminal sanctions as seen as regulatory noncompliance. Unlawful leases reflect administrative flaws often eligible for ratification, aligning with general distinctions where illegal implies stronger criminality. In closing, the CLTC board must exercise caution to identify and remediate the questionable leases. I stress diligence as we move forward. The CLTC staff, administrative director, and these commissions are exemplary in their efforts moving forward. Our efforts are a work in progress. This is a dynamic effort for the people of Guam. Viva Guam, viva CLTC.
Viva.
Now we go into the
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, I would like to just basically make a motion. If we could just go ahead and take care of our constituent matters on new business right away, and then we'll go back to what we're going to be doing. I only feel like the constituents need to really get everything going so that they can go and finish their day and have the rest of their lives to move forward. That's my motion, is to move new business now to the top.
I'll second.
Okay, motion has been made and second. Is there any discussion on the matter? If there's no discussion on the matter, we go for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say nay. Since there's no opposition to the motion carries. So we'll begin with new business, constituent matters.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This is a matter today that we're presenting is all prepared by our staff, and being that I'm their supervisor, I'll be the one presenting the case for them. Once again, this was staff report was based on our staff that was assigned to this particular case. The first one today is Mr. James Sublime Cruz. Can you have a seat here?
Sign in, and if you shall make any comments, if you could just state your name for the record,
My name is James LeBlanc Cruz. Moment sign also.
please.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up. Is that Mr. James LeBlanc Cruz currently signing
That is
present?
correct.
Yes.
Okay. So the staff, have you completed your staff resolution? What is the staff, are you finished?
I'm going to proceed with the staff report.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
staff report needs to proceed.
Okay. Once again, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and Board of Commissioners. We have Mr. James Cruz here before us. The matter at his request is to approve to be issued a lease for track 18113, block 1, lot 1, Mingilao. And legal reference, I want to focus particularly this legal reference because this is where the decision would have to be made. In July 17, 2025, the Board of Commissioners approved the motion to approve lease awards for parcels that have already been surveyed on parcels that are registered. Item number 2, on November 2025, the Board of Commissioners approved the motion to revert applications with change of type to original application type. So in item number one, Mr. Cruz had surveyed the property. In item number two, in this case, Mr. Cruz, original application was residential that switched to agriculture. And the date of his application is September 4th, 1995. Like I mentioned, track 8113, block 1, lot 1, Manilao, containing an area of half acre. So moving towards the summary, Mr. James Blanc Cruz has a recorded survey map 108 FY 2014 and has not been issued a lease. And this lease, agricultural lease, was actually prepared but was not consummated. So there was actual lease, but it wasn't consummated. Nobody signed. So he did everything he clearly he needed to do. He was also was issued a notice of
Okay,
intention
so what is
to
the
warn.
ask? What is the ask?
So the ask that the guidance that our staff recommended was.
Mr. Chairman, I think the manner in which we're proceeding is very clear. That I would like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that based on the information provided in the staff report, that Mr. James Sablan Cruz was approved by the CLTC to switch his application type. And that furthermore, Mr. Chairman, the CHamoru Land Trust Commission had issued Mr. Cruz a notice of intent to award and other authorizations that had led him to complete a survey. Am I correct?
Yes.
Mr. Sir, staff, on the property that was intended to be leased to him. So with that said, Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to approve a lease award to Mr. James Sablan Cruz for tract number 18113, block 1, lot 1. This action is to address the lack of action of the past. And furthermore, Mr. Chairman, I would like to make sure that we make sure that the property is also zoned to residential, because everybody else around him clearly is residential. That's my motion. If you want me to restate my motion, I'll be happy to do so.
Okay.
Is the motion for residential or what did he say?
This is for residential.
So he's
Yes.
giving him a residential
Yes.
lease.
Yes, and that's what he wants. Is that correct? Okay.
So that's my motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Can I get a second?
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Is there need for discussion on the matter?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just want to be very clear that part of this motion is that we work with Mr. Cruz to be sure that in the future, we get that property to be zoned to residential.
So noted. Is there any other discussion on the matter? If there are no more discussions on the matter,
Mr. Chair, if I may, the report says an agriculture lease, not a residential lease. So, just for clarification, Mr. Cruz, based on the report, Mr. Cruz's original application type is a residential,
Right.
which the CLTC had approved him to switch his application type, which currently today, without reverting it back, will be an agriculture application. So, but based on the report, the guidance is approval for an agriculture lease award to Mr. Cruz. We just want to make sure that the motion doesn't conflict the report.
So it's my understanding, based on the notes, that Mr. Cruz, you're looking for a residential lease? To
Originally, I
revert
applied
back.
for residential.
Yes.
I asked him to switch to agriculture,
Yes.
but, I mean, I prefer to have the agriculture, but I would like to just have a lease, right?
Okay. But the nature of the lease is going to determine what you're going to do on the property. Do you
Yes.
intend to reside there?
Yes,
Okay. So do you want residential? Because
I don't mind a residential lease.
The only concern is that if you shall proceed with a residential lease to Mr. Cruz, the concern is that he may be a priority two. That, I'm assuming that's why the switch was, because When Mr. Cruz applied, he applied as a residential. However, I believe that Mr. Cruz may have attained property after his initial application, which is what caused him to switch to an agriculture lease. Now today, if the board should proceed with issuing a residential lease, it is our understanding that at the time of the lease award, there's different priority status. Priority 1 is you don't own any land, priority 2 is you own half acre or less, and priority 3 is you own greater than half an acre. So today, if the board is gonna revert the application back to residential, Mr. Cruz will be considered priority 2. Now, if the board is going to accept the actions of the past and maintain it as an agriculture, there is no priority status.
And for that reason, Mr. Cruz, I made that statement to approve the lease award to him on track number 18113, block 1, lot 1, and that this action is to address the lack of the action of the task, and that we want to clearly identify that there's a need for that property to be zoned to residential. And that's my motion.
I guess the clarification we're seeking is that is the lease award going to be a residential or an agriculture? Based on the report that's in file, it's an agriculture lease award. So if we're going to maintain the current, what it is today, as an agriculture application based on CLTC's approval of the switch of application type in the past, and Mr. Cruz had surveyed the property based on the switch to an agriculture application or for an agriculture lease, the concern is that if you award a residential lease today, that Mr. Cruz will be considered a priority 2. So if we maintain where it's at today as an agriculture application based on the switch, then the agriculture lease has no priority status.
That's correct. And for that reason, I am requesting that we still approve the authorization for that agricultural.
Okay.
And that's my motion.
We just want to make sure, only because he had Commissioner Cameron had mentioned residential lease.
I prefer agriculture. I mean, I do want to start farming, doing some work on the land, but it's been 31 years since
So
my
does the
last
agricultural
apply.
lease prohibit him from building? I mean, are you gonna reside on it is the
I mean, I do
question.
plan to build something on it to stay on the lot.
The agriculture lease, after you farm 2/3 of the property,
Then you can build.
then you can build, yes.
Okay.
And you're
So for
asking-
now, just for a point of clarification and for point of reference and moving forward, my motion still is intended that we leasing for agricultural. And I think we've already had a motion, a second, now we have the discussion ongoing.
What I was gonna say is you have a half acre lot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So that's room to farm and to stay here.
So if there's any further discussion on the matter, if not, we go in for a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition to the motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Mr. George, thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
You can go like this now. No, this.
I know, it's waiting already.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Next, constituent matters, Mr. Rodney Tenorio Perry.
Is it possible for my two sisters to join me?
If they want.
No, okay.
If you could just sign in and state your name.
But if they join you at the table, they have to sign in.
Okay.
You want to join? You can just sign it. You want to?
Only if they're gonna speak, they should be at the table,
Oh, okay.
okay? Go ahead, you can proceed.
Do we have a report that we could proceed with?
Yes, everybody has a staff report. I'm going to proceed with my report as soon as Mr. Harris has his speech.
Thank you.
Did she get a copy too?
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Perez. The next constituent matter here is Mr. Ronnie Tenor Perez. The matter is Mr. Ronnie Tenor Perez is requesting to be deemed an eligible beneficiary. He's an applicant since 2001 and for a residential lease. So, Mr. Perez, moving forward to the summary, which you could skip all the facts and chrono. Mr. Ronnie Tenor Perez, September 12, 2025, affidavit states his father, Antonio Q. Perez, was utilizing Mr. Joaquin Perez, lot 380 Nagana for an unknown period of time to July 7, 1947. Mr. Perez is of the opinion his father, Anthony Q. Perez, is a descendant of Joaquin Cruz Perez, landowner. However, he is unable to provide documents for confirmation. According to Mr. Perez's affidavit, there was no compensation or rent paid because his family property, it was his family property, but any expenses, including taxes, were shared. Lot 380 in Nagana was placed of a family home and is unaware if there was any farming activity conducted. Mr. Ronnie Camacho Perez is requesting to be deemed eligible beneficiary under 21 GCH Chapter 75A based on September 12, 2025 affidavit for eligibility occupied. Guidance, Title 21, Chapter 75A of Guam Code, annotated 75A 101.2 B. To place the approval of the status of eligibility beneficiary is upon review of their documentation, declaration, or affidavit, and any additional research of commission conduct. And commission shall determine whether the person is eligible for as a beneficiary. So we have today an affidavit from Mr. Perez, and if you he turned in a family tree, and we tried to qualify him under land takings to his family, but we couldn't find anything. So he did an affidavit stating that his father and his family was actually occupying a relative property that was actually taken in Nagana, lot 380. So he's here asking for to be deemed qualified.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to approve Mr. Ronnie Tenor Perez as an eligible beneficiary.
I have a motion on the table. Do I hear a second?
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and second. We open the floor to discussion on the matter. Do we have discussion? If there's no discussion, we go for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. There's no opposition to the motion passes.
Can I just, I did this last night, I want to thank the board, I just got a little letter and explained to the document exhibit of what it is, just really fast, if the commissioner will give me like less than 5 minutes. I know you have a lot, but I'd just like to take out what happened. Is that okay with the board? It's really.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Dear members of the CHamoru Land Trust Commission, I write to you with deep respect and with the weight of my family's history carried out in my works. In 1947, 2 military land condemnations, my family's ancestral land was taken from us without just compensation. As indigenous Chamorro people, our connection to the land is our connection to the land is not merely economic. It is spiritual, cultural, and generational. The land embodies our identity, our tradition, and our right to self-determination. The condemnation of our property severed us from that sacred connection. It deprived my family of the ability to cultivate, to build, and to pass down the inheritance of our ancestors. What was taken was not only soil and stone, but the very foundation of our heritage. For decades, we have lived with this loss, knowing that our dispossession was not voluntary, nor was it just. Under Guam law, the Chamorro Land Trust Act enacted as Public Law 23-147, codified in Title 21, Guam Code Annotated, Chapter 75, was created to restore fairness and dignity to families like mine. The Act explicitly recognized that native Chamorros who lost their lands through government acquisition or condemnation are eligible for residential and agricultural leases. My family's history falls squarely within this purpose. We were disposed by military condemnation, and we have never been compensated or restored. I humbly ask that you recognize my eligibility for Chamorro Land Trust property. This is not a request for charity, but for justice. It is a rightful claim that was promised by law and by the spirit of the Chamorro Land Trust to heal the wounds of land loss and to ensure that future generations of Chamorros may live upon and care for the land that defines us. Granting this request will not only honor my family's struggle, but reaffirm the Commission's mission to protect and restore the rights of the Chamorro people. It would allow me to rebuild the connection that was unjustly severed and to ensure that my children and grandchildren inherit the legacy of our ancestors. I thank you for your time, your consultation, and your commitment to justice for the Chamorro people. We respect and sincerely run Chamorro affairs. That paper that I gave you right now, my grandfather, great-grandfather, was the governor of Guam, Joaquin C. Perez. He was the acting governor of Guam during the land condemnations way back in the Chamorro times. When I was talking to my father, who passed away, about all these little tidbits about Chamorro Land Trust, my father, who was born in 1906, was a man of little words. All he said was, in Chamorro, boy man madula lakam. That is all I can say to this commission. And for centuries, my family were all over the place. We always wonder, where did we have our land go? But there you see it, through that paper, the fact from the UOG, Dr. Sauter, my grandfather, who is the acting governor of Guam during the land condemnation. All the land was taken, and it was just rightfully that I do the research so he can rest in peace and put closure to this bittersweet memory. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. I think you have spoken for many Chamorros, quite honestly, including my family, on my grandmother, who originally owned the entire Anderson Air Force Base, and it's gone. And this is not to act spoil or to act fuss, but to further incline what you have just stated. There's a lot of pain and agony that went with this, and I'm so happy to make that motion to approve Mr. Perez, you as an eligible beneficiary, as what the law so stated, that you be compensated. Thank you.
So no, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day, Mr.
Thank you.
Perez.
You guys have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next constituent matter is Monica Dolores Baza. Please have a seat and sign. Thank you.
Did we still?
Yes.
did we
Can I have a
still-
Can you
report?
proceed, please?
Monica, right? Okay, so next constituent matter is Monica Dolores Baza.
Her report is right after Ms. Bertha's.
Yeah, it's just out of order.
Yes.
She's out of order.
I just,
No, you're next on the agenda.
Did you sign in, ma'am?
Yes,
yes,
sir.
yes,
State your name, please.
Monica Dolores Baza.
go through that. Okay. Okay, thank you for coming, Ms. Baza. Today's consistent matter is Ms. Monica Dolores Baza. Matters, request for agricultural lease agreement for lot 833-21 in Narahan for 1 acre. Moving forward to guidance, Ms. Blaza entered into an agricultural lease in 2003 on a portion of lot 7153 Gigo, which is still unregistered today. Ms. Baza was given an opportunity to move to a different lot because of the issued area being unregistered, only to hit another dead end with her surveyor. Ms. Baza understands the stipulations of the lease and will adhere to the guidance of CLTC. With the approval of this board, Ms. Baza would like to move forward with a 1 acre agricultural lease on lot 833-21 in Narahan that she surveyed. That is her request today. But I just want to also add to this note that because she's still in an application stage requesting for a lease issuance for agriculture, being that she surveyed a 1 acre lot, the law requires that upon issuing a lease, agriculture lease, anything over a half acre would have to get approved by the legislature. So right now we can issue her a half acre lease, but if her request is 1 acre, that has to go to legislative approval.
So if we did a half acre, we could proceed, or how would you do
not-
it? It takes a lot longer
It'd be
as
shorter,
well.
yeah.
In the past, the
But the
board,
thing is,
Mr. Chairman, just for a point of order, Ms. Monica Baza have complied with the directions of the CHamoru Land Trust Commission based on the fact that Ms. Baza have surveyed the property that was intended to be leased to her, correct?
correct.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to make a motion to approve the lease award to Ms. Monica Baza for an area of 1 acre, subject to the legislature's approval in accordance to Public Law 33-78. That is my motion.
Okay, a motion has been made, and I'm waiting to hear if I can get a second to the motion.
I'll second the motion, but I do have a question.
Motion has been made and second, now we go in for discussion in the matter.
So if we're gonna have to go to the legislature, or she's gonna have to go to the legislature for approval, are you guys we're gonna walk her through the process? What's the,
so what will
what's the path
happen
forward?
would be like the case of Ms. Carmen Casperbauer and Karen. Because their lease award is over half an acre, and as Commissioner Cameron had mentioned, the Public Law 33-78, if the board should approve it today, we will do the same process as the two that I just mentioned. A letter will be prepared, a map will be sent down to the speaker for their disposition. And that's just the process.
And she will be the one to follow up with the legislature
We
on when
will
the bill,
also.
okay.
She can, but we will also.
And so what we're approving today is the lot that she has already surveyed.
Correct.
So it's already been surveyed, so she's done her work already.
So
Prior to the,
we're looking at a full acre, not half an acre.
Correct. Well, according to the motion that was.
so another question I have is, if we're gonna execute a lease or we're approving the lease and we're gonna execute a lease for the entire acre, does she have to wait until the legislature approves to go on property?
Yes, what could possibly happen is that the legislature may set a rate higher than $1 a year. We don't know. Again, this is the third case that we're doing, performing this to send it to the legislature for approval. Now, what happens when they discuss or whatever they do down there, we don't know yet, because they still haven't issued their approval for the two that we've already sent, which is Ms. Carmen and Howard Casperbauer. So Ms. Baza will be the third constituent to be sent down if the board should approve.
Lauren, how long does it normally take?
Again, Ms. Carmen was the first,
Oh,
that was our trial because the law just passed several years ago, but since the law had passed in the 3378, CLTC had never issued anything above half an acre.
okay.
That's correct.
Any
Do you
more-
understand that, Mrs. Boston?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you.
And just so we're clear, just because the board approved doesn't mean the legislature may approve too.
Right,
We
right.
don't know.
Just,
Just so.
you've gotten over the first hurdle.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I think what we're doing today is the right thing to do, it's the valid thing to do. Thank you, Ms. Basa. We just need to vote on it, actually.
And Mr. Chair, if I just may emphasize again one more time, your rate may not be $1 a year, just so that you know. But again, we don't know yet until the legislature has reviewed and done whatever it is that they do.
So that's an unknown right now at this point in time. It'd be up to the legislature to decide that. Okay? If, any more discussions on the matter? There's no more discussions on the matter, let's go in for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Right.
All those opposed say
Thank you,
nay.
Ms. Basa.
Since there's no opposition to the motion passes. Congratulations
Congratulations.
and good luck. Where in the wrong? Iha? Up in the hill?
Yeah.
Just about the same thing.
Do you have a road to it already?
No. Well, actually, that, UG, some sort of agriculture.
Is that agricultural farm?
But just make sure you mention the procedure.
Thank you, Mrs. Basa.
Mr. Chair, the next constituent is Ms. Bertha Ustinich.
Is that Ms. Bertha Ustinich? I believe her name is Ustinich.
Christine,
Yastinich.
so you're,
Sorry, but
However, Ms. Bertha had passed, so today is Ms. Christine Ferreran's necklace, her daughter.
Okay.
How do you pronounce your last name?
my mom's last name is Yastinich.
Justin, sorry.
Ustinich?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
okay, today we have Ms. Christine Ferreran San Nicolas. She's requesting to be named successor to her mother's agriculture lease agreement. Moving forward back to summary, a request has been submitted for the assignment for agriculture lease for lot 1171 -1 Dedido, comprising of an area of 4,047 square meters, which is 1 acre. The request is from Ms. Christine Ferreran Nicholas, the daughter of the current lessee, Ms. Bertha Yastinich, and is supported by Ms. Yastinich's completed in-house approved map based on the drawing number MDWG-S-02-141. Guidance. Ms. Christine Ferreran Nicholas is fully qualified under 75A requirements based on Public Law 35112. With the approval of this board, Ms. Nicholas can move forward with taking over her mother's agriculture lease with conditions. So I just want to point out in little discrepancies on the lease for her mom, Bertha Yastinich. In the lease agreement, it is for a half acre, but in the survey that was completed is 1 acre. So right now, they're actually occupying that property. But I mentioned, if we're going to continue to lease, there will be conditions. The condition will be based on our field inspection and then our NTR notice to remediate. But what has to be decided is if we're going to continue with the initial lease agreement, terms agreement that her mom has signed, which is a half acre, or or with conflicting the survey, which is 1 acre.
So who conducted the survey?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to approve Ms. Christine Ferheran, Ms. Christine Ferheran Nicholas to be the successor of her mother, Mrs. Bertha Ferheran Justinix, lease for lot number 10171-1. This approval is conditional and subject to compliance with the lease terms.
Survey, if the request is only for half an acre.
Oh, I was just, I put it on the board, the map.
If you want me to repeat my motion, I'll be happy to do so.
I believe if we may, just to provide further explanation to Glenn's comment, when we reviewed the file, which is what we do prior to bringing it to the board, we take a look at everything. We compare the lease, the map, if there's taxes in there, just to make sure that everything aligns. Unfortunately, Ms. Bertha was initially issued a lease for a half acre, not more than a half acre. However, the survey that was done was for an acre.
So my question is, who requested the survey for the acre?
And that's what we could not ascertain. So as we went through the file, we did not find a survey authorization that authorized the survey of an acre.
But in the status
And
note,
for that reason, my
information,
motion is
it
very
was for a half
justified,
acre.
that we stick to what is the facts, and that I made the motion to approve Ms. Christine Ferheran Nicholas to be the successor of her mother, Ms. Bertha Ferheran Justinix, lease for lot number 10171-1, and this approval is conditional and subject to compliance with the lease terms. And so we've already discussed the lease terms. That's my motion.
So just point of discussion, if our lease terms are saying a half acre, are we gonna require
A
a
new map.
survey to cut the,
Yes,
to cut the
correct.
lot to a half acre?
And just so we're clear, normally, right, when a lease is given a portion of, and when the survey is completed, an addendum should have been completed to correct the property description.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman, I think I made a motion. We need to do a second, and then we can discuss.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. A motion was made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a
Subject to discussion.
second. Now we open for discussion.
Just to further explain, when Ms. Bertha was awarded a lease and when she got her property surveyed for an acre, whether it was an acre or half, CLTC was supposed to execute an addendum to correct the property description, to read the actual legal property description it reads on the map, instead of the basic lot, subject to survey, not more than half acre. But that didn't happen. Again, we were trying to make sense of all the actions that had taken place. Unfortunately, in file, we could not find a survey authorization that authorized the survey of a 1 acre parcel.
although we didn't find in file for survey authorization for a half acre or 1 acre, we look at the status information sheet note. Every time we meet with our statistician, we put a notation there. It reads that for 1 half acre only. So that's the only place where I can find that why half acre was issued, was based on the status information sheet
And the lease.
and the lease.
If I may, dear, so, growing up, right, that property was my grandparents, right? That's all I know, all I can remember, it was a really huge property. I didn't know at the time acre, whatever, hectares, all those things, but, I remember when my mom and her siblings were still alive,
Go ahead.
the property was divided into 3, which was my mom's youngest sister, my mom's brother, and my mom. So they were all given an acre. From my understanding, they were all given an acre. So the properties are real close by, which they hired someone to survey the property. When my mom passed away, it's the only time I went through her files. So I don't have it with me, but I found a file that said CHamoru Land Trust on it. My stepdad, who is Jasnich, is no longer on island now, because when my mom passed away, we came here, turned our paperwork in, and My brother, who's currently in the States, who lives in the States, relinquished his rights to my mom's, and my dad did too. So they relinquished it to me. I turned in my paperwork and everything, but when I was trying to do follow-up and stuff, there was no paper trail because I turned it into Lorraine. I spoke to the director at the time, and he told me what to do, and I did. I got my papers notarized, but there's no paper trail whatsoever.
So I just have a few
It's very
questions. First
frustrating.
is, there's two heirs, your brother and yourself, and your brother has already submitted an affidavit that he's
Yes.
relinquishing his share as well as your stepfather
Yes.
and your father, okay. So if we approve the 1 acre as surveyed, does she have to go to the legislature?
No, because it's not a, it's a.
And we just change the lease?
Yeah.
We
It's
just amend the lease?
amend.
Okay, only because, do you want an acre?
Yeah, we've been doing stuff there already, like we've been planning.
Because if
and-
they're already living on the acre,
And
the
we've been-
acre has
yeah.
been surveyed, I don't want to create additional cost burden. And, not only cost burden, but having to find an actual surveyor to do it, it's gonna take months. If there's already an existing survey and the survey is legal, we can record it, change the lease if that's within the allowable. And since she's already, using the property for 1 acre, is that what her ask is? Cause I think that's the most sensible thing to do.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
But just, if I may, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, this right here today is to grant Ms.
Joe,
Christine.
just a clarification, the terms she's asking, that she be the successor of her mother, yes or no?
Correct, that's the request,
Yes or no?
yes.
Yes.
So that being said, a disapproval of this motion is conditional and subject to the compliance with the lease terms.
And if I may just explain what the lease terms would be is, Ms. Bertha's lease is considered a lease with a cloud, right? And there's a remediation process that we have to do. We're gonna come out there, conduct a compliance inspection on Ms. Bertha's lease property, which Ms. Christine may be approved to succeed. Ms. Christine, if she is approved, Ms. Christine will be given a notice to remediate if there is non-compliance issues. Even if the board approves today to grant her the successor, we will not bring her back yet to execute the new lease until she comes into compliance with the lease terms. Just so there's clarity in that the board is aware that prior to us even executing a lease, even if it's approved, there are some prerequisites that we have to conduct internally, and then we'll bring it back to the board for approval.
Okay, so what I'm also trying to
Okay.
avoid is I'm trying to avoid her coming back multiple times, cause I've seen it in the past. So if we can hit 2 birds with 1 stone, allow her to be the successor, number 1. Number 2, change the lease from half acre to 1 acre. I'd like to make that part of the discussion and the approval. Can we do that so that we can just, CLTC, you have to do your own, requirements that you need to do. But the next time she comes back, it's just to approve the lease. Otherwise, I don't want her to come back 2-3 times.
Can be done.
So Ms. Commissioner Respicio, are you recommending to amend my motion and to just say that although nonetheless, what we're looking at right now is subject to the compliance with the lease terms, which is less, really, it's half an acre. You're saying that to amend, or I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but to amend the current motion and to accept the fact that we can accept her for a 1 acre.
Correct.
But she'll be subject to legislative government,
To whatever
concurrence.
rules and regulations that she needs to abide by.
Is that a request you're having, Commissioner Respicio, is to amend my motion?
Yes, and I just want to make it clear that even if we make the amendment and approve 1 acre, she doesn't have to go to the legislature.
Correct, because we are amending the existing lease.
Existing
The
lease.
lease date will not change. But however, just so we're clear that when she does come into compliance and she is or the lease is a clouded lease, when we bring her back for a new lease issuance, because that's what the law requires, the lease term will only be for the remainder amount of years of the initial lease. So if your mom had it 10, you will only get it for 89.
Yeah, because that's the conditions, right?
Right, right.
Okay, so can I make a motion to amend his motion? Yeah. So I will make a motion to amend the current motion on the floor to add that we will also approve the surveyed lot to increase from half an acre to 1 acre.
And I'll second.
Okay. An amendment to the motion has been made and seconded. We open it up for any further discussion. If there
I
is,
think this is great. I think we killed two birds with one stone. Sorry to come up with different words, but yeah, I think what we're doing here primarily is making sure that Miss Christine doesn't have to come back with a full card trail. Thank you, Miss Christine.
Thank
Have a
you,
nice day.
thank you.
And
wait
save
a
you
minute, we
expense as
haven't
well.
voted.
We just need to vote now.
Okay. If there are if there is no more discussion in the matter, we go for a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Is there no opposition to the motion passes. Now you
Thank
fix
you
it.
so much, Mr.
Prior
Nicholas,
to
and
us coming
God
in,
bless
we'll
you.
call you like 2 days prior to let you know we're coming.
Okay, thank you guys.
Okay.
very much.
Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Maybe I don't look like a farmer, but you know, I worked really hard. I never lived in a place like my mom's. I really never did, but I learned to love it. My mom's planted a lot of star apple, iba, like, you know, all these old CHamoru fruits, and I want to keep up with it, you know? Thank
That's
you.
wonderful.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, the next item is Mr. Crispin B. Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez is not here today. And this area is, I don't know if everybody's familiar with it, but
Along back road?
it's
Yeah.
along the back road.
Okay.
It's one of the individuals who have been occupying CHamoru Land Trust land. However, after our review, our several site inspections, on January 5th, 2020, or December, wait, hang on, sorry, I'm gonna get my dates mixed up. On December 5th, 2025, Mr. Glenn Hay, Ms. Day, and myself conducted another site inspection because of the concerns of the safety for the kids around the bus stop, the traffic and the cars that are going by. And so what we did was to ensure that Mr. Hernandez is afforded his due process. We did provide Mr. Hernandez with an application because based on our records, he is not an applicant of CHamoru Land Trust. We did provide him with the family tree to complete so that we can do our research to verify his eligible beneficiary status. It's been over 30 days. Mr. Hernandez has not come in to submit an application, call us, nothing at all. And given that we're taking a more proactive approach to address all these environmental concerns and metallic and all these other things that are occurring, today we are bringing Mr. Crispin B. Hernandez's issue to the board for the board to approve the issuance of a cease and desist letter to the unauthorized occupant of Lot 6, Block 7, Tract 515344 in the municipality of Manilao. The unauthorized occupant is Mr. Crispin B. Hernandez. In addition to the cease and desist, notice also to vacate the property.
Mr. Chairman, it's really unfortunate that Mr. Hernandez has not submitted his application. It's also unfortunate how the CHamoru Land Trust Commission property is being used. I would like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman, for the CHamoru Land Trust Commission to issue a cease and desist letter and a notice to vacate Mr. Crispin B. Hernandez. Also, in this motion, I would like to make a motion for the chairman to sign the letter and a notice on behalf of the CHamoru Land Trust Commission.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and second. We open it up for discussion. Are there discussions on this matter? If not, we go in for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition to the motion, the motion passes.
There'll be more cases like this that we'll be presenting in the coming months.
I believe, Mr. Chairman, having gone to new business with constituent matters, we can proceed to go back to old business with the Global Recycling Center. Is that correct?
I think we still need to do the public notice requirements, right?
That is correct.
Do we need to go over the public notice requirements?
Dexter didn't read that.
No,
No, you
Yeah, no, he needs
yeah. Can you call him in so we can proceed?
bailiff.
The certification,
What do you call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to move back to item number 2.
you have to read it.
We have a bailiff.
Which was it?
He read the post.
No, he didn't.
Joey, is there
He
any
didn't read the
update
post.
on
He didn't read anything.
for the purpose of the old business, showing Global Recycling Center? I just want to be sure, and this is my comment to that, Mr. Chairman, is that I want to ensure that the Attorney General of Guam is CC'd in future letters to Global regarding this matter. Also, we will forward all these letters regarding the Phase 1 study to the AG in the event a lawsuit is filed. And if I may, Mr. Chairman, I think I would like to make this into a motion to ensure that the Attorney General of Guam is CC'd in future letters to Global regarding this matter. And also that we will forward all letters to the AG regarding Phase 1 study in the event a lawsuit is filed.
Mr. Chair, I don't mean to interrupt Commissioner Cameron's motion. However, as Commissioner Ishishu had mentioned, if we're going back to the order of the agenda, we need to address the certification and then come down.
Start on item number 2.
Mrs. Cameron, can we just put your motion on a hold and let us follow now the order of the agenda for going back to the original order?
Mr.
Okay,
Cameron,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
we're going back to the original order on the agenda. We'll put your motion on hold until we get to the global
Look,
section.
of course.
All right.
Certification.
Administrative Director's report.
No, we're on
Certification.
2.
The bailiff wants to say something.
Yes.
Bailiff. Okay. Chairman, for the certification, in accordance with the 5 GCA Chapter 8 Open Government Law, this meeting and the agenda has been published in the Guam Daily Post on January 8 and January 13, 2026, and is also posted on the Guam Public Notice Portal and the CHamoru Land Trust Commission website. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The minutes, because you did your remarks earlier,
Or,
Yes.
so the minutes.
so, Commissioner Cameron, we're in your ballpark now.
No, we're doing approval of minutes.
Minutes, the minutes.
Okay, approval of minutes.
I don't have the minutes.
It's not in the back.
No, it's not there.
I'd like to make a motion to table the approval of minutes, since we don't have the approval of minutes for our next regular board meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, a motion to table the approval of minutes until our next board meeting has been made and has been second. We go in for discussion. If there's no discussion on the matter, we go for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition to the motion passes.
Mr. Chair, the next item is the Administrative Director's report. May proceed with presenting it. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. The first item is under Administrative regarding the FY 2025 $9 million appropriation. The first task is GPA. GPA has already commenced the work on I believe the civil work or the drawing work for track 15344 in Manila. This work that they will be conducting will affect 68 current lessees and 17 new, which in total will benefit about 85 lessees, current and new in total. We just received the invoice for the application fee. We will be processing that tomorrow, Friday, January 16. The next item.
What is the amount approximately?
Just for the application fee, I believe $1,500.
Okay,
That will trigger them to proceed further in the clearing and all that other great stuff. The next item regarding GPA, the water and wastewater, the transfer of track 1113 block 16 Dededo to CLTC has not been completed yet by DLM. We will be following up and provide an update in the next meeting. I did have a meeting with the Department of Land Management yesterday. They will start their surveying services for the easement on lot 7160 in Jigo. The tentative commencement date would be Tuesday, February 17, 2026. Even before then, we'll be reaching out to the Jigo mayor to inform her of the activity and to inquire if there's any assistance she can provide us. This will benefit 210 current lessees. So a total between the two projects that will be commencing soon, it's about 295 current and new lessees that in cumulative total that will benefit. The next item is the FY 2024 audit. I'm working on closing the books for FY 2024 at this time. However, I felt it is necessary that I disclose to the board that we have already discovered one questionable cost, which is in relation to the CLTC Operations Fund bank account that is in the possession or custody of the Department of Administration. On my report, you'll see that there's a $244.88 charge to the bank account for Harlan Clark check order. This account really is a TDOA, a time deposit open account, but primarily serves as a savings account. We will be preparing a letter for the chairman to sign inquiring on the questionable costs of $244.88, because even in the past, as we review the bank statements, usually when a check is issued, it's a draft and then the number, whatever the number of the check is, that has not occurred, so it's concerning for us. And two, that fund is restricted to the day-to-day operations of CLTC. So I can tell you now that we don't write checks that go out of this office. So again, we just need to verify what the check order was for, and if it's inadvertently posted in the general ledger or what it is, but we just need to address it and correct it.
okay.
And then the next item under land administration, we will be going out in full force for compliance inspection starting in February. We do have a deadline of when to complete the compliance inspections for the 2,800 plus leases that have a legal cloud. So we're scheduling that, and we will be going out in full force in addition to everything else that we're doing. The compliance team will involve myself and a couple of other CLTC employees, because again, we have a timeline to complete this assessment. The next item on the agenda is commercial, non-commercial, and the first item is Transworld. After the last board meeting, when the board had decided to maintain the assets recommended by Mr. Nate, that letter was sent. There will be a site inspection, a site visit by myself, Dexter, and the chairman tomorrow, which is scheduled for 10 a.m. just to confirm the assets and improvements that will remain on the property. The next item
Well,
on
I
the...
have a question. So on Transworld, what is the update from, I think it was BSP or, was there any interest? I think that didn't we post
The RFI will come out
Yes.
next week.
oh, the RFI is not out yet?
No,
Okay.
it'll come out next week. Please note that we had put in our requisitions for publication and it has not been released, so we will go to the direct payment method.
Okay,
Yeah. So next week it will come out. We'll give I believe a time frame of 14 days. We'll have it available. I mean, it'll be open for anybody who wants to submit their proposal. We will keep track, there'll be a communication log and all that other great stuff to make sure that we comply with any procurement regulations that may be questioned. It's not necessarily that we're going out for procurement, although we'll follow that framework so that, there is no misperception or any type of improprieties or anything like that. And then the next item is the Guam International Country Club. We did receive, or the chairman did sign the lease notarized on Tuesday. However, Attorney Miller had advised us that we do add the Attorney General signature page, notarized page, and the governor's signature page and notarized page.
Is there, sir, is there any timeline that you consider for the commercial lease that is forwarded to the AG for his review and signature? And hopefully, how it will be forwarded to Governor Youngberg for her signature. Is there any timelines that you perceive so that we can proceed forward? We do have some money that the commission really could be already making if we move on this.
The letter has just been signed that will be attached to the commercial lease to the AG's office. That could be delivered before the close of business today if this meeting ends. I anticipate soon. However, I cannot give a projected timeline of how long the review will take, but we will definitely frequently follow up with.
So I have a question, why does it need to be reviewed when we received the lease before chairman's signature? It was already reviewed, and it was reviewed and then given to chairman for him to sign. We're not gonna allow him to sign something that has faulty in it. So isn't it just move forward to require his signature? I don't think he needs to review it.
So,
He approved it already.
well, Attorney Miller is a deputy attorney general. He is not the Attorney General of Guam. And when we did have our meeting on Tuesday, after I reviewed it and I noticed that there's no signature block for the Attorney General and the Governor, I asked, will the Attorney General and Governor be required to sign this? Only because our previous lease that was executed to talk to communications for Hague required the Attorney General and the Governor to sign.
How long
Is
does
that a
that take?
requirement of law or?
I believe, we're researching the requirement. However, to my knowledge, every contract that will obligate the Governor of Guam requires the Governor to sign. And before she signs, primarily the AG will review.
But isn't that a contract in terms of procurement to receive money? I mean, to give money out, we are receiving.
Correct.
There's two different kinds of contracts, procurement type contract and like a rental lease contract.
That
So
is-
we're not expending any money.
That is correct. However, based on previous guidances that we have received and the execution of our now new contracts that are being, or leases that are being executed, the AG is signing and the Governor is signing also.
Yeah. Mr. Cruz, could you please keep me apprised so that I, as the PIO, could apprise the rest of the board, of commissioners here on where we're at and how the paperwork is moving so that we can all work cohesively. We're pretty excited about the opportunities, and I think you can feel how Commissioner Respicio is thinking that, time is very valuable.
Yeah.
But please keep me apprised, and of course, you and the chairman will more than likely be the first ones to let me know.
If I could ask a couple more questions, just in the spirit of trying to get everything to move forward, because I agree with Commissioner Respicio that, the funding that we'd receive for this will really allow us to move things forward, our initiatives as a commission, right? So, I believe in our last meeting, we had talked about the clubhouse and the land going back. Is there a resolution necessary for that, or is it?
I believe in the law, it says if CLTC shall elect to utilize.
Okay, so that,
But we will get clarification from Miller. But if the board feels comfortable that they may want to or don't.
Because,
I
you know,
don't, I
It
don't.
took us, I mean, we've already approved this a month. Now it's a month and we still don't have the necessary signatures.
we-
says, hold up, oh yeah,
What?
it did pause.
How's it now?
Oh, it's still going, there, you're good.
It's okay, okay. We'll get clarification. I don't believe that the amendment would need to be signed, but let us verify.
Yeah, again, it just, you know, in the spirit of trying to move things forward so that we can
Understood.
get the,
Yeah, yeah,
Funny, but-
especially since, we met with one of the parties today in reference to their meeting up with their past due, and that sort of stuff. I think in the spirit of, moving forward, I think we need to really put some fuel to the road, shall I say.
yeah.
I mean, we've already wasted 4 weeks. That's how I see it. We're already 4 weeks in and we don't have a lease.
And then my last question, you know, the appraiser, is that something that we have to, go out and procure?
No, what will happen is we select and they will pay. So
Okay.
what, we have a running tab, so, we've already issued 2 names for the, Eclavea family. So the next in line, we have that, but the next in line that we will choose will not be the ones that they selected initially.
Okay.
So it'll be 2 different appraisers.
And the law requires a MAI, right? Is that
Certified, correct.
certified? Okay.
I believe there's only 2 or 3 on Guam that are, but, you know. we
Right,
will
right, so
verify.
basically, so that'll just cut out whoever they previously used, and we just use the one that's,
That we select.
that we select.
We're
But we
gonna
can't
ensure-
use the one they've already
We
used.
try to prevent that.
Right, right, okay.
Okay, so can I request that you give the PIO updates at a minimum of weekly?
Yes,
You know, we've already lost 4 weeks. And today's Thursday. If we give the Attorney General the letter today, you know, we don't know what his workload is like and we don't want our lease to be at the bottom of his pile.
We'll provide the weekly updates, for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else, Joey, that you need
That will
to give
do.
us at a director's report?
That will conclude my director's report, thank you.
Okay, so we're on to the next agenda.
The next item under old business is global recycling. In your packet, you have the most recent letter that was sent. It was to provide global recycling with clarification, because for one, their quote was only in the area of where the tire fire had occurred. However, the letter does provide clarification that the request was for the entire parcel or the entire lot. Also, we anticipate that that should be completed soon, and as soon as we receive a copy, because we requested for one, we will definitely share it with the board and with Attorney Miller, and put that as an item on the agenda in future board meetings. So that's where we're at with global recycling. We just wanted to give the board an update.
Okay, and I think I made that earlier error, sorry for that, Board of Commissioners and Mr. Chairman. I think I wanted to restate that this is a sensitive issue, and that being said, I had mentioned to our acting director that I wanted to make a motion in this meeting to move to ensure that the Attorney General was kept in the loop of the Attorney General Guam is kept in the loop, and that we should really CC him in the future, any letters to Global regarding this matter that has been festering in our hands. So also I would like to make that motion to forward all these letters regarding phase 1 study to the Attorney General in the event a lawsuit is filed. My motion is twofold. I move to ensure that the Attorney General of Guam is CC, copied in all future letters to Global regarding this law matter. Also, a part of this motion will be to forward all letters regarding the phase 1 study to the AG in the event a lawsuit is filed. That's my motion.
Motion has been made. Do I get a second on the motion?
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and second. We open it up for discussion. Are there any discussion on this matter? Since there are no discussion on the matter, we go for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition to the motion passes.
Mr. Chair, the next item on the agenda under new business B, subsection A, 75A 122, commercial leases and licenses. I would like to ask that we table this to provide the board more time to review what we're trying to amend in regards to the commercial leases. We did only provide this, I think, on Tuesday, which is, I feel that may not be sufficient time for the board members to review. However, our intention here with the amendment is, just to provide a little context to it, is, for example, the first amendment that we're asking the board to consider is when the CLTC commercial rules and regs was drafted, enacted, promulgated, and to the GCA, we were restricted to a cap of 9% of the total remaining unassigned Chamorro Land Trust land area inventory that we could commercially lease. However, for me, there's a little ambiguity because that could be like a running total. At that time, it was maybe 700 acres, 9% of the unassigned inventory would have been 700 some acres. However, as we move on and we continue to lease, our unassigned amount is gonna decrease, which for some may interpret, well, if today your unassigned is 1,000, so you should only lease 9% of that. But to clarify and to address any type of ambiguity, we put a number which is 740 acres. When this law was passed, I believe, 2015 or 2016, but the public law is 3395. That's what the amount was at that time. 9% of whatever the
So
unassigned.
can you, since we have the subsection 75A 122, can you please reference exactly where I'm
Page
thinking
one.
that it's, yeah,
Page
it's
one.
page 23, item number 1?
It is the
It's-
first
yeah.
page, item 1B1
Yeah, B1.
on the first page.
No,
When you
it's
say, what
9%.
is the page number at the bottom?
Oh, mine doesn't
Page
have page
23.
numbers.
Yeah, so it's
Number
page 23. I just want to make
Oh,
sure.
you're on the right.
Yeah, I want to make sure that we're
Uh,
referencing the right one.
That's
The
what,
21 GCA real property, page 23.
hang on.
Item,
We have a one
Updated.
updated.
This is the one with the edit. It's the one with the edits.
So
Okay.
This is the one with the edits.
where we struck out and underlined,
okay,
yeah.
thank you, that's very helpful.
So rather than saying 9% of the current running total, it's just gonna be 740.
A definite number, which
Definite
was,
number, which was the number back then.
yeah, when the law was created. We're not in, well, we're rounding it probably, it's probably 739 point something, but, you know, we're just making it clear so that.
Right, right.
Because some may view it as a running total, and as the amount of unassigned inventory decreases, as we start to continue to issue leases, some may perceive that, well, if you only have 200 unassigned, you should only be leasing 9%, which is we will exceed that amount definitely with what we're leasing today. But, you know, I don't know how the lawmakers will view it, but this number is the number at the time when the law was passed. We're not, like I said, we're probably just rounding it up.
So when it says unassigned, so, aren't there more, shouldn't it be more than 740? Because as we're meeting, we keep hearing that there's other properties that are still not part of our inventory. If we say 740, I'm afraid that we're actually selling ourselves short because we're not accounting for the other properties that have not been, transferred to our, inventory yet.
That could potentially happen.
Okay.
However,
So maybe we need to add a clause here. We need to add that there are properties that are not currently in our inventory, and that needs to be taken into account.
okay. That's why we wanted to table it, just so we can provide you guys enough time, so we can.
No, but I think this discussion is important so we can have clarity in terms of like what your direction is. Okay, so we should add that.
And then the next item is, we wanted to remove, hold a CLTC public hearing on specific lot and area of land to be designated. So what we've been doing in the past is that the board will declare, we'll go out, hold a public hearing, take back all the information, present it to the board, and if the board agrees, then we designate and create a resolution,
Public hearing or town hall meeting?
a public hearing.
Joey, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to streamline process?
Correct, we're trying to make it a little bit more streamlined and efficient, but also comparable, and to ensure there's some parity amongst other government agencies who do go out there and commercially lease. CLTC's process will take probably at a minimum 6 months to even fulfill all these requirements in here. We're not trying to cover up anything, we're not trying to sacrifice the integrity of the process, we're still gonna publish it. However, there's just some things that we feel internally that can be removed. For example, like sending the resolution to the legislature, they have 60 days to conduct whatever it is activity they wanna do. For as long as it's not an exceptional term lease, then, just like everybody else, they're allowed to lease up to 15 years. If it's beyond that, then they have to get legislative approval. Whereas CLTC, through our enabling act, we're allowed to commercially license for 21 years or to commercially lease for 25 years.
So do you think that this discussion would be better, will be more fruitful in a working session format so
Yes.
that you can,
Explain further.
explain to us and we can add in what we need to add in or delete, and then at the next board meeting, we can move forward with any recommendations for the adjustments?
Yes, ma'am. We'll take
So
that into-
based on these items, can we motion to schedule a work session?
Yes, but, okay,
Do you see what I'm saying? Because it seems like there's a lot of thought behind this, and, I'd like to know, aside out of this meeting, what those thoughts are and how we can, best move forward as a commission.
okay. If I may, if a decision or motion is gonna be considered, if we can have it third Thursday, maybe the last week of February.
What?
The
The
work
work session?
The work
Yeah.
session,
Oh,
yeah, because we have a lot of things that are coming up. We have applications that will be meeting the 90-day period. We will be going out in full force with our compliance inspection, like I just mentioned. There's timing of some time-sensitive things that we need to take care of. We have reporting to the the Office of Insular Affairs for our federal grants. So if the board can consider the last week, sometime within the last week
Well,
of
does the
February.
motion have to be specific to a date, or
Just the last week of February, please, consider that,
Or-
just,
I like
how about
to,
after the third week of February?
just
it's up to you.
whenever, okay, wanna make a motion?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to schedule a work session for the commission to discuss items B and C under new business, to take place after the third week of February 2026.
Mr. Chair,
I'm second the motion.
I'll wait for the discussion.
Well,
Did I get a second?
Yes.
No.
Commissioner
Okay, a
Cameron.
motion has been made and second, now we go into discussion on the matter.
Commissioner Ross, can you consider removing item C? Item C is really straightforward.
Okay.
It's item B that's a little bit more lengthy.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to amend my motion to schedule a work session for item B under new business, to take place after the third week of February 2026.
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and second, we open for discussion. If there's no discussion on the matter, we go for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition to the bill, the motion carries.
Mr. Chair, the next item under new business, item C, subsection 75A 109, successors to leases and applicants. A5, this item is really speaking to the requirement of obtaining appraisers when a lease shall be canceled or terminated, and to value the improvements. Currently, the act requires us to obtain 3 appraisers. One shall be named by the commission, one by the previous lessee or the legal representative of the deceased lessee, and the case may be, and the third shall be selected by the 2 appraisers herein before mentioned. We've just went through this process, and it's unfortunate because only out of the 3 appraisers that were awarded purchase orders, only 1 agreed to perform an appraisal on a house of a lessee who had passed and their successor wants to terminate their lease, so we have to appraise their improvements. That's 1. 2 is banks only require 1 appraisal. They have a little bit more stricter guidelines if they're FDIC or NFCU insured. 3 is kind of I guess
So I agree
taxing.
with, I agree with those points. I mean, the banks only require 1 appraisal, but I guess my question is there, I mean, do we have any notes or anything? I mean, what was the thought behind having 3 appraisers?
I don't know
I mean,
myself.
also the cost of the appraisal, so the
Yeah.
cost of 3 appraisers is gonna fall on the burden of the lessee, is that correct?
Leading to that comment, we also wanted to add that the cost of the appraisal shall be paid by the commission but deducted from the net proceeds to be paid out. The amount to be deducted shall not exceed the cost of the appraisal. The only reason why currently, just like I mentioned, the previous appraisal that we've just paid for cost us $4,000. If we were to pay for 3, that would be $12,000, but there is no cost recovery method for CLTC. We don't have that kind of,
I'm okay with the underlying, of what you just stated.
so,
It goes on to page 2.
just for the board to consider that there is some kind of cost recovery method for the CHamoru Land Trust.
Well, I think it says there, such payment shall be made out of the fund and shall be considered an advance and reimbursable by the successor. So that's the cost recovery already. It's already stated that it would be reimbursed, and then, your addition is that the cost shall be paid by the commission but deducted from the net proceeds to be paid out. So it just, basically says that in a different way. But that's fine, because at least we make sure we have a net there.
Yeah, for clarity too. But if, again, it's up to the board.
See, it says such payment shall be made, so that it's already saying that we will, the commission will be the one to fund it. And it's considered an advance, and then it will be reimbursed.
Okay, so we can strike out the last comment.
No, I think it's fine to leave it in.
Yeah, but I can support having only 1 appraisal. I don't think the 2 other, if you had 3 appraisers, I don't think they'll come too far apart from each other, so. It's gonna be redundant and cumbersome.
But it doesn't, I guess what's not defined here is the process to select the appraiser. I just want to make sure that we're not, the way the banks do it, and other funding institutions do it, is they do like a round robin. They have a list and they just go from the next,
That's what we.
just so that, I just want to make sure that there is that process. And are there rules about that? Because I want to make sure that we follow those rules, and
We internally
so that way
practice that.
there's,
So
okay.
there's no preferential treatment for anybody. Just like I mentioned earlier, the 2 companies that were selected for the Ecovea, we have like a running list.
Okay.
I would like to,
Joey, I like your strike over and your underline, because it expedites that whole concept of the appraisal, and we're not, the lowest laying fruit is right there. It needs to be appraised, and it just doesn't linger. So I support this, quite honestly.
Joey, I would like to also have some research done on, I can't believe that we're being charged $4,000 for an appraisal of a structure. And since we're trying to go align with the bank,
Is
the
that a,
bank's appraisal is only like $600-700, 800 tops maybe.
is that a residential
But that's
appraisal? or-
residential.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it seems like the appraisers are trying to charge us commercial, so
Right,
maybe we
right.
Yeah.
need to get some rates from them and have them categorized between residential and commercial, because it's very expensive what they're charging for a structure, a residential structure. So we need to, I guess, I don't know, who oversees the appraisers? Guilds?
I think Reverend Tax.
The Reverend Town.
Yeah.
Maybe we go through Revenue Tax to find out what are the criteria for evaluations for each type of appraisal.
I
For
think that
commercial,
I think if we just get a fee schedule, you know, that way we know that they're following a certain fee schedule.
that's
each of
fine,
their
just
fee
as long as
schedules,
we get it from them and that they're in compliance with it.
Yeah.
I think Commissioner Respicio has a lot more information on these concepts of appraisals, because she being in the field of real estate, I think she's got a lot more info. And I would recommend highly that Joey, you work closely with Commissioner Respicio to hammer down some of these questions.
So, in regards to,
If that pleases Commissioner Respicio, that is.
if the board should decide to act on the proposal today, we also ask.
Is that okay, Commissioner Respicio?
Yes, thank you Commissioner Cameron.
If the board should act on.
I come even with Commissioner. With one commissioner, now we gotta get even with you.
If the board should act today on the proposed changes, we just ask
We
also
level the
that,
playing field here.
that the board also decide, which senator that we should engage with, just like the previous, bills for like the attorney like that. So we can start to move forward and try to get this also.
Thank you, Joey, for your report on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
What?
I don't see
Do we need to
public
make a motion?
members.
Do we need a
Are there any
motion?
public members
Yes.
on the next on the agenda?
So, yeah,
Who's in charge of housing down at the legislature?
I think Senator
Is it-
Dueñas, I think.
Oh,
So
Senator
maybe we
Dueñas,
go through Chris Dueñas if he's oversight the housing.
I
Are
don't
we
know, it'll
talking
be up
about
to you
the
guys.
center that oversees rules and regulations and policies that are to be upended within any governmental agency? Is that Dueñas, you
I
say?
think it would be the Banking and Finance Commissioner, who oversees
It
the
would be
Banking and
under
Finance
operations or
Commissioner, that's
banking
who
and
we go with.
finance?
Okay, banking and finance.
I see. I
Banking,
think
Finance
that's,
and Insurance
if I'm not
Commissioner,
mistaken, isn't
whoever
that
oversees that,
Senator?
that committee
that's,
and the
yeah, that
legislature.
committee and the legislature, that's what we should go with.
So that would be like DRT then, right?
Yeah.
Because that's
Is
under-
that Senator Dueñas? Am I wrong?
Get the motion, if you guys should decide, you could just make mention of what committee we're gonna go with.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We'll be the one to look for who's, the
Right.
section.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, there being no public comments, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Make the motion for, new business section C.
And would that be to accept?
Yes,
the-
accept it
And,
as
and-
presented, and then, to, work with the
forward.
senator to,
Okay.
oversight of, banking, finance, and
Okay.
I'm
insurance.
sorry, somebody raised their hand and I can't hear a thing you're saying. Can you come towards the table so
Not
we
yet,
can hear
not
you?
yet, just a minute, Commissioner Cameron, we're not finished with
Yeah.
item, new business section C.
I'm just gonna make a motion so we can finish off with new business, and then, so.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept the proposal regarding the items in new business section C, with the, condition that, the changes be coursed through the senator that is in charge of banking, finance, and insurance, or the committee that, oversees that.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion has been made and second. We go in for discussion. Are there any discussion in the matter? Since there's no discussion in the matter, we go for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Since there's no opposition to the motion passes.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, Ms. Christine is present from the Department of Agriculture. I believe just for public comments, this is in reference to the Department of Agriculture's conservation plan that we will be, if it hasn't been shared with you guys already, it will be shared with you. However, this is just as, not time consuming, but requires back and forth communication. So what we're doing is we're trying to schedule in a work session also for this matter. And we haven't decided yet on a date, but since we have one after the third week of February, we will.
We can,
Joey, is this in reference to the conservation request
The conservation plan that
of agriculture, requesting for lands for conservation?
I believe
There's,
lands has been
I'm sorry, I
identified
cannot hear
already.
you.
if I may, my name is Christine Camacho Panarin. I'm your Forestry and Soil Resources Division Chief for your Guam Department of Agriculture. I have my cards. Hi, Chairman Cameron. So, really, the memo that I think you just received is our way to just touch base, because there's been a lot of conservation planning, a lot of written plans for natural resources and potential permitting in future. And the lands, we have CHamoru Land Trust lands included in parcel in the forest system plan, right? The inventory of lands for conservation. And it's essential that we meet with your board and have a working session where we can really dive into the priorities, and maybe there are lands that are perfect for conservation and not so ideal for habitation, right? I mean, we see this all the time. And so if we can have, that's just one little element. So in the memo that I sent your way, it covers the forest system plan and the discussion on those parcels, the habitat conservation plan, which has a whole other team that can talk in depth about that. And then there's the Sentinel program for Guam, and there's opportunity there for gold cart for purchases. There's opportunity there. I heard you talk a lot about fees and how do we pay for this, and we're looking at opportunities here. We'd really love to have a deeper conversation with you on that.
How do you perceive this plan for conservation impact positively or negatively for the law that was passed that we lease these properties to those individuals that were mentioned in the public law that was created and passed into law by former Senator Paul Bordalio? I'm just concerned that when I see the word conservation, I see lots of acres being going away. And let me finish. My first gift is to take care of the people of Guam,
Yes.
not conservation.
I see an opportunity here for us to do both, because in order to protect and provide for the people of Guam, we are covering for conservation. Otherwise, we end up with bad water, poor fisheries, no sustainability. So I can't reconcile that as separate in my book. But what I can say is the conversation we're hoping to engage in is to be able to look at what parcels can be set aside for, because if we don't set anything aside, we lose an opportunity for what do we do with mitigation? What do we do with development? And we have, we'll say snails. What if we have snails here? Where do we put them? We really start creating more and more roadblocks to potential development.
So where does the federal government land preservation
Ma'am,
fall
are
into
you
this?
aware,
Because I
are you
know,
aware that
excuse
I
me,
headed
Commissioner
up,
Cameron.
this whole concern about conservation for 6 years under Governor Eddie Calvo when I was participatory on those concerns? and then there are other lands that can be had other than trying to swoop up on Chamorro Land Trust properties.
So I'm not done with my comment. So in relation to that, Commissioner Cameron, I was just asking Ms. Fajarin,
Yes.
how does this tie in line with the federal, preservation system? I mean, aren't there already lands provided under those programs?
Well,
Yes, they,
yes, and so
Okay, so then
this
what
is
more do you
not
need?
taking Chamorro Land Trust lands, it's a discussion that there are conservation lands, and you have some of the Chamorro Land Trust, there are
You're not
Chamorro land.
taking it, but you're reassigning it from, commercial and residential to, something else.
there
That's
already
outside,
are,
that's outside of the scope of the,
conservation,
This is
property
of our
from
mandate. So
Guam,
that's my
especially
question.
when you look at the,
Yeah.
when you look at the mapping
It's
of
the land will still
the
belong to us.
military
Yes,
but
buildup,
don't
et
you
cetera.
already have
And so
federal?
I'm just concerned how
Federal land?
this is
Yeah,
coming
don't you
into
already-
the doorsteps of the
This is
Chamorro
government
Land
law.
Trust
Yes, I
Commission.
know, but what I'm
That
saying
really
is in the
worries
island
me.
of Guam, there's already federal lands that are earmarked for conservation. Is there or is there not?
There are, you're talking about
There-
for federal lands?
Federal programs. There's
Oh, okay.
Guam, but federal programs that already are earmarked for conservation.
No, I think there's, I think bringing the partners that cover Habitat Conservation Plan and Sentinel, I think bringing us to the workshop and explaining that better, because
So what I'm saying is, I guess I don't know the actual division, but I know somewhere up north, there's those guys that wear the green uniform, what are those people? Forestry or federal forestry?
The conservation
No,
officers.
Yeah, so they already
You know,
have
it's kind of like,
land.
you know,
I think it's outside of
Commissioner
where I-
Respicio,
Yeah, so that's
this
what I'm
kinda like
saying, is outside,
falls
there's
in
already
my
lands.
ears, Commissioner Respicio, almost the same way, former Assistant General Cruz wanted to take lands from us.
no, I think I feel like this is moving towards a discussion where there's a threat of lands being taken.
No,
Your Department of Agriculture Forestry Division is not trying to do that. We have a forest system plan which guides priorities for what kind of work do we want to do on lands that have already been set aside for conservation.
so that's what
There
I'm
are,
talking about.
but there are parcels of Chamorro Land Trust properties that have been put into this database, into this forest system plan. And we want to be able to discuss, not all of them, there's just small parcels. And we want to have this working discussion with you to review those parcels,
Okay.
to have clarity as to what the intentions are and to where we can proceed with our forestry work and our conservation work with respect to your parcels. So,
Yeah, but you know what, the people of Guam, those who are watching this and are gonna be listening into this, is gonna have a faux pas of concerns that how come we've been waiting for 42 years for us to be put into this, and we're seeing you give lands away. That's really the bottom line, is to authorize us to have you come in for conservation purposes, whenever the first dibs is our Chamorros, is our locals, and I'm sorry, I don't really support this.
Am I correct in what you're, or in my interpretation of what you're saying, is that you guys have areas where you operate now, and in those areas, there's some Chamorro Land Trust properties that you'd like to discuss with us? Is that correct?
yes, it has nothing to
Okay.
do with taking land away from the inventory for people. It has everything to do with, we're doing conservation work, and what would be your priorities for these properties? And as an example, I would say a cliff line. Let's pick a cliff line. If you were to lease out property on a cliff line, which makes it extremely challenging for any family to try and bring utility through, would that be an opportunity for more conservation? Or do you just wanna say, you know what, enhance the land, protect the water, do what you can here, but we're not committing this land to be gone out of inventory? I mean, we're not even proposing that right now. This is the discussion.
That's the postpone, is we're not proposing that now, but you need to remember, I have 6 years of clear understanding of what conservation matters. I even sat in on the whole concept with with the military build-up. I was one of the signatories that would sign off on that, and I know exactly what these concerns are on parcels for conservation forestry lands. And I don't support that right now, I really don't. I think you need to take your plan elsewhere, because I want to keep the Chamorro Land Trust pure.
There is a lot more to this request, and I think it's being, I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding right now with this request. We're not even getting a chance to speak to Chamorro Land Trust, and that has been the first request. Like, I think our original requests were, may we have access to properties so that we can collect seed for restoration, collect vegetative material, collect seed, so that we can continue to grow medicinal plants, to make plants available for the community. Development's happening. So those are some of the very basic things. The team is looking for ways to continue to protect and enhance.
And do you realize that by doing so, there are federal regulations that allows for a takeover of lands once certain activities, such as what you're
But
proposing
we're
to
not
do?
federal government, we're your government.
If, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, if we can at least, we'll
So-
continue with the work session planning, and then we'll give them an opportunity
Yeah.
at least to present their program. We understand that the board may not be inclined to release any land or transfer any land, but let's just give them the opportunity.
I think we can afford them the opportunity to, I guess, you can present your plan and your intent, and then, you
Go
know,
from there.
in the work session, we can, and then in a board meeting, we can address how we're gonna approach that, just to be fair.
Yeah, and just so it's, you had leases here and community members here today, and it was just such an opportunity, because part of the other ask is, can we work closely with your lessees? Can we communicate better as units to be able to offer services to the community? I heard how many people walk out of here with, oh, farming background, we'd love to do a little bit of this, we're doing this. And, well, we have free resources at your Department of Agriculture, your Forestry
I
and Soil
think
Resources
that was
Division.
addressed at the last commission board meeting in December.
Excellent.
And I asked AD Joey Cruz exactly that, if we are guiding our agriculture leases towards Department of Agriculture.
And
He
you-
assured me that the programs that they were, so I'm hearing a disconnect here. So maybe after this
When-
meeting, please
when-
get with her and.
Just for clarification, when they do come, we
Yes.
do refer them, when we do the NTR, we do make mention, because in the lease, it does say free plans from the Department of Ag. Now, if they visit Miss Christine specifically, I'm not too sure whether they go there or not, I cannot.
So what I'm asking is if you have, resources that you want to leave here so that the agriculture lessees can avail of those resources and they can reach out to you.
Definitely,
So, yeah.
and so we've provided resources, and so I'm happy to hear that's still going. So I guess there's still some more outreach and education needed for lessees to reach out to our office specifically. There's agriculture development services, and then there's forestry and soil resources. And we're also your wildland fire crew. So everything we do is to protect from fire, and then many of your farms end up under fire. And so we're trying to expand our stewardship program to lessees, that if you're on farmland and you're threatened by fire, here are resources we can help you with and provide for free. And so, I guess we're just looking for that
That's a very
opportunity.
valuable resource, and I think please coordinate with AD Cruz so that we can make sure that we get all of those resources out to our lessees, our agricultural lessees.
Mhm.
I believe initially our lessees, we normally contact Mr. Borja, John Borja. It's a
Right.
different division
Very different division, yeah.
where they have the plans.
We're very, if you haven't met our team yet, we're a very dynamic and very motivated, innovative team. And so I welcome even the board to come and meet us at the forestry office, come and see our nurseries, come and see what it is that we're doing and what we propose to do. Even on lands, government lands that are going fallow right now, burning annually, we recommend opportunities to do something to enhance those properties while they're laying fallow.
I'll
They
take you up
enhance.
on that offer.
I appreciate that. One, my card for all
What I
of
would
them.
like to, what I would really like to see, since this is your first time appearing to the board, is to work closely with AD Cruz and, yeah, and, you know, I wanna, you know, get some feedback at the next meeting. I mean, are any lessees reaching out to you? Are they availing of your services? And, you know, then we can form a relationship, right? And then we can move forward.
We have a really great relationship with your team here. The working staff, we worked together for years. The forest system plan and the development of that plan.
I don't know.
No,
I
it's,
heard that, what I was hearing was that, we're not using your services, and now you're telling me you already have a relationship.
no, it's,
So,
it's.
do you have a
the
relationship
staff.
or not? And if you don't, please establish one, so that we can use your services, so that our lessees can use your services, and then we can move from there.
And
That's
just,
my
just to
recommendation.
provide further context, our lessees do, like I said, maybe not her division,
Right.
but they do
They
apply
do
for
engage agriculture.
bona fide
Yeah.
farmers certificate for
Yeah.
agriculture, water, and all that other stuff. Christine, I believe, is more of the forestry trees.
All forestry and soil resources. And so, like, very different division from that section. And for the work towards the forest system plan that we put together, it was very much a collaboration with the working staff here at CLTC and land management and other resource partners. The disconnect is where we've shared our information. Joey and team have been really great about saying, we've got your brochures, we've got your stuff, we'll share it. But we still need to do more outreach to the lessees. So we have a good working relationship with your team. It's the customers that we're still trying to figure out, where do we go to really, you can tell them, but where's the next step where they come to us, or can we come to them? And that's the piece. But outside of that, this has been a very, very good partnership for the resources overall, so.
Maybe that's the next step, is you ask the lessees, can they contact? Can we have somebody from forestry division contact you?
That.
So that, yeah, so that way
Put the
they're
onus
doing,
on us.
yeah, they're doing the initial contact. Because, you know, maybe they don't know what questions to ask.
Mhm.
So at least they can contact them directly if they're interested to learn more.
That's,
Who's your deputy up there?
no deputy.
What happened to Roy?
Not sure.
Okay.
But I have my card here, and so,
Thank you.
yeah. But everyone that walks in, like, oh, I see potential here, stewardship cooperator, avail of us. So, thank you for your time. It's a big memo, but there's a lot of, each of those sections that the plans and the program that's being mentioned, they come with other groups that will represent that information far better than I. My whole effort here today was just to meet you and to try and get us on a working session with you. Really, because you're important.
Can you offer infrastructures to our agriculture customers?
Can offer you a windbreak. But thank you, everybody.
Water,
Thank you.
Water, great.
farm needs water.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you.
I recommend that you contact the folks at GICC, since we're signing a new lease with them, and part of their agreement is to do an environmental buffer from the solar farm to the residential. So maybe you can contact them, and maybe you can work with them with regard to forestry and things that they need to do for their
Definitely.
environmental buffer.
Definitely. Our forest stewardship program is free to all private, and then we have many, many urban programs that help even
So you
on
can give them ideas on,
Definitely.
yeah, what they need to do. Maybe you guys can give them that information.
And we have a sub-grant workshop this Saturday for urban and community forestry. It gives seed money for nonprofit, NGOs or government, as long as the land is public or private with public access. There's opportunity here for, people always say, why aren't you doing this forestry, why aren't you doing this? We created a sub-grant opportunity to give people a chance to take ownership of their green spaces or their spaces. So I'll share that flyer with Joey and team, and hopefully they share that with you, and we can get that out to more customers, more team members in the community, okay? All right,
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Christine.
Expect me next week.
I will. There's my card.
Mr. Chair.
public comment?
That's it.
That's it.
Motion to adjourn?
After the next meeting.
Oh.
Date.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any more comments?
No, just one more item, the next meeting date.
Okay. Is,
February
19.
19th. At 1 p.m.
Sounds good. Mr. Chair, I'd like to motion to adjourn.
19 at 1 p.m.
I second the motion.
Motion has been made to adjourn and a second. We open for discussion. If there's no discussion on the matter, we go for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Cameron?
Oh,
He left.
he logged off first?
He logged off.
All opposed, say nay. Since there's no opposition to the motion passes. This board is adjourned for this January 15 meeting. And it is 3:05 p.m.
2 minutes we give out.
Yeah.